person, there's this element of disappointment between the expectations that you built based on what you had heard and what you had hoped that person to be. Marty O'Toole was one of the rare exceptions to that rule. Excuse me. Marty had a captivating presence, but not because he was loud or trying to draw attention to himself, but simply because of the way he lived. Marty had a way of lighting up every room he walked into, and not because he demanded attention, but because he brought something with him: kindness, humor, and love. Whether you knew him for years or had really just met him, you felt that. People would always describe Marty as saying, "He's just a good man." And when you finally met him, you realized that this wasn't an exaggeration. It was just the truth. Marty was the kind of man who didn't need a spotlight to make an impact. He was steady, dependable, and genuine. The kind of man who showed up again and again for the people he loved. And he loved a lot of people, case in point. Growing up in Pittsburgh, he was raised at a Catholic home, shaped by strong values, hard work, and a deep sense of responsibility. He was the kind of student who made all A's, and from a young age, he never gave up on things. He went on to the University of Pittsburgh studying chemical engineering, and as Patty pointed out, back when a slide rule was all that you had, and Marty loved it. He was just wired to solve problems, to figure things out, and to make things better. But his life was not without hardship. Right before his last semester of college, his father passed away. And in that moment, that pivotal moment of his life, Marty didn't step back. Marty stepped up. He continued going to school, and at the same time, he took care of his mom and his younger sister, Patty. That's just who he was. When life got hard, Marty didn't run. Marty leaned in. Romans 8:28 tells us, "And we know that in all things God works for good for those who love him." Marty's life showed how much he believed that. Not because life was easy, but because he trusted that God was with him even during the hardest moments of his life. He knew that even loss could shape something good. And you could see that in the way he cared for his family, in the way he carried responsibility, and in the way he quietly gave of himself. It's hard to think of a better example of this than when he walked his sister Patty down the aisle at her wedding. A moment that said more than words ever could. And in that moment, Marty didn't just fill a role. He became a pillar of his family. Marty was fiercely loyal. If you were his friend, you had a friend for life, and he truly had lifelong friendships, the kind that don't fade over decades or distances. And if you needed someone to stand with you, you didn't have to ask. Marty was probably already standing there. One of my favorite stories that Patty shared this week